Today, on the Specialist Podcast, we talk a little college basketball. We have a sit-down with the number one running back in the class of 2021, Weddington's own, Will Shipley. We talk about the NBA trade deadline and All-Star Weekend coming to the QC. Welcome to the Specialist Podcast,
where two former mediocre high school special teamers get together and talk all things sports. Welcome back to episode number 5 of the Specialist Podcast. I am Matt Gott, along with the wonderful, talented, and smart Coleman Bazin.
Well, Matt, when you say smart, it takes me, I think about school. And, I don't know the last time I went to that thing. But,
Shout out to CPCC's online classes is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, school on the go. It's mobile. So CPCC, hit them up. I'm a proud student there. But I'm even a more proud co-host with you, Matt, on the Specialist Podcast.
Let's just jump right into your team. Clemson Tigers pulled off an upset at home. They won 59-51 against the ranked Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yeah, man, Tigers played well. North Carolina native Shelton Mitchell had by far his best game of the season. He had 22 points and 5 threes. Weird game for the Hokies, though. They averaged 75 points and only scored 51. I saw them talk about during the game. They were like top 5 in the nation at a three-point shooting percentage, but they only shot 5 of 19 from 3 on the game, and as a whole from the field, shot 15 of 53. That's awful. But granted, Justin Robinson is out, and that's one of their best players. But you got to have that next man up mentality. So how about them Tigers, baby? We're coming.
Yeah, you talked about North Carolina's own, another North Carolina's own that had not a ton of minutes and points, but he provided a spark off the bench. Yeah, that was Hunter Tyson, Piedmont graduate.
Yeah, that Piedmont boy, that country boy had a little something in him. How about it, baby?
Yeah. Burr.
Burr for the people who know what's up. But Hunter, he actually came in and hit a really big three when we were kind of just stalling on offense. So awesome to see him come in, but obviously, it was a good game for the Tigers as a whole.
Yeah, continuing on a good game or a good matchup, it's number 2 Duke easily handled Virginia, number 4 ranked team in the nation. Virginia was 20-1 coming into that game. Their only other loss was Duke. So they're having problems with Duke.
Well, just about everybody has a problem with Duke, and when R.J. Barrett says that he came into this game with the Mamba mentality, you might as well just bury yourself in that hardwood. Don't show up. He dominated, man. He had 26 points. He hit 6 threes. As a whole, this is so weird for Duke. They shot 13 of 21 from 3. That's very, very efficient. And Duke, like I said, they struggled all year, so that was definitely the X factor. And on Virginia, the X factor was DeAndre Hunter. He didn't have a typical night for himself. 11 points is not what they're going to need from him in any games, but especially these big games against a team like Duke. They're playing North Carolina tonight. He's got to be better. Also, Jack Salt, he's a really underrated big man for them. He only had, I think, like 6 points. He's got to be much more efficient. And but the most points Tony Bennett has ever given up at home, 81 points. That's a lot for Virginia.
Yeah, it really is. Duke, you could say their big 3, RJ, Cam, and Zion, really showed up. How about Zion's block?
Oh, my goodness, man. I literally, jumped off my bed. I was like, ah! And I was really scared when Zion did that. That's a grown man.
I've never seen a block like that.
No. But when I think of Zion, I still get a little upset. He played Clemson like that.
He did. I remember a lot of Clemson folks thought he was going.
Dude, those crystal balls, man, they had him as going to Tiger Town, and we thought we were going to be the next big thing in college basketball. But, sometimes Coach K probably slipped him a little money. What are you going to do, eh?
Earlier this week, we got to sit down with Weddington's own Will Shipley. He's got tons of accolades already, only as a sophomore in high school, and we can't wait for you guys to listen to this interview.
Yeah, this guy has legs that are bigger than me and you combined. Sophomore with offers from Georgia and Oregon. This guy's the real deal, and we're going to be looking back in about 7 years when Homeboy's in the NFL, and we're going to say, Yeah, he was on the specialist. You know, it's going to give us some street cred.
Yeah, you mentioned his legs. His arms are huge. We just didn't really get to see him with like 4 jackets he came over with.
Oh yeah, but I mean it was cold outside.
Yeah.
And he's got to protect himself. I mean, by all means, this guy is going to be an NFL star one day, and you know he's going to be getting handoffs from Trevor Lawrence in the NFL probably.
The next Christian McCaffrey, better.
Oh, better than McCaffrey. I mean, he honestly is like Barry Sanders, but white.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so I'm excited. But yeah, we had a great time with him. So let's go ahead and let's roll it. We are live with Weddington's own Will Shipley.
It's great to have you on, Will.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Will, you've won 3 separate state championships in different sports. What sports did you win those in, and how special was each one?
So my freshman year, I won a lacrosse state championship. And then this year I've won a football state championship as well as an indoor track state championship. And, you know, all of those have meant so much to me and, you know, and Weddington. It was really, really special to me to, you know, win 2 of them with my brother. And, you know, but one that I'm always just going to, you know, cherish and love the most is probably football because, you know, that's the sport I really do love. And, you know, that's the sport that, you know, you really have to work hard for. Mm-hmm. Competition is probably a little bit better than the other 2. So, yeah.
How's you and Coach Capone's relationship?
Yeah, you know, it was great. Coach Carson, I couldn't ask for a better coach coming in my freshman year. You know, he really accepted me in with open arms and, you know, got me into the program, you know, invested in me, believed in me. And then, you know, making the switch to Coach Capone this year, you know, was also really awesome. He kept things the same. You know, we did the same type of stuff, you know, but he added his own little things into it, a variety of things. And, you know, just having Coach Capone there, he's helped me out a ton with all my recruiting. And he's just been such a great head coach. And I really couldn't ask for a better coach. So
that's awesome. Now, what is it like winning a state championship with your brother? And what is y'all's chemistry like on the field and off the field?
Yeah, no, winning state championship with him is, you know, one of the best feelings I've ever felt. You know, we've been best friends forever now. You know, we do everything together. You know, so just being able to see him, you know, smile from ear to ear his senior year and, you know, leave with the state championship, you know, it meant the world to me. So
that's awesome. Talking about state championships, when I looked at y'all's schedule, I followed Weddington football throughout the year, but when I looked at y'all's schedule, I mean, other than Charlotte Catholic, you guys literally whooped up on about every team you guys played, including the playoffs. I mean, you won by a good amount in the state championship, and then you whooped up against, I believe it was Watauga in the semifinals. Tell me about that and how you guys just create, like we were talking about, the culture over there, just dominating each game.
Yeah, you know, at the beginning of the season, you know, we start out with a hard schedule, but not our hardest, you know, of the whole schedule. You know, then we get to a 3-game schedule where it's like Crest, Sun Valley, Catholic, and that's really like when we have to turn it on. And you know, so we beat Crest and Sun Valley both by a score of 31-21, and then we get to Catholic, and you know, Wayne Dixie, the guy I work with at running backs, he actually has to go out with mono. So you know that hurt us. Whitner was not with us at that point. He was facing a suspension. So you know Catholic whooped up on us pretty bad. And you know after that we just we really had to turn it on as a team. And you know Coach Capone really just, you know, dialed that into our heads. And after that we really just had the mindset to you know, not let anyone stand in our way. So
quick question: do you take, not just you, does the Weddington football program as a whole, because Sam Howell is just, and he deserves all the credit that he's given, but you take pride in knowing that he never beat you guys?
I mean, yeah. You know, that was one of our biggest you know, things before the game. Coach Crooks actually said it, who's our offensive line coach. He's like, you know, we always want to keep that asterisk next to Sam Howell's name that says he never beat Weddington. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we do take pride in that, but you know, also just props to Sam Howell because he's a stud, and I really hope he does well at UNC.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of UNC, I know you have an offer from there. We can talk about your offers a little bit. You have a ton of Division I offers, and you're only a sophomore, which is awesome and crazy at the same time. Are there any schools out there that you're wanting an offer from that you really haven't gotten already, or that you're just waiting on?
No, I really wouldn't say that. I like to enjoy them. If they come or as they come. I'm just really grateful for the ones I do have right now, and just thankful that God has given me this opportunity. So.
Well, when you sit back and look at the list, you see Georgia, you see NC State, you see Oregon, Tennessee, West Virginia. The list goes on. Do you ever sit back and just say, like, man, I'm a sophomore in high school, and I've got all these. Do you ever just sit back and reflect on how crazy that really is?
Yeah, I do. I'm so thankful, and it also just makes me want to work even harder. Because where I'm at now, I'm not satisfied with having all these offers. I haven't signed yet. I haven't gotten on and made a statement at that college yet. And that's really what I want to do. So I'm just going to keep striving for that.
That's awesome. And so you're the number one running back in the nation for the class of 2021. How do you stay humble knowing that you're one of the best football players in the country?
That really comes with my parents. That's just how they've brought me up. Having my brother as a mentor. He's one of the most humble kids I know. So really just my surrounding. Weddington football has also played a big part in that. One thing that we really portray there is it's never about yourself. It's all about your team. And if you don't want to follow that, if you don't want to buy into that, then you just can't be a part of Weddington. So that those have all played a really big part in how humble I am, and I just want to keep being the humble type of guy. So
that's awesome. So we were talking about just the Weddington culture, just everything about Weddington that you were saying. What can we expect from your team next season? You guys are losing some key seniors, including your brother and quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what can we see from your team next season?
Yeah, we're losing 17 seniors, and every single one of them is really important. Winter Litton at quarterback, we're gonna have some kids really competing for that. We have about 3 right now, a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior, which they'll all be one more year next year. But they're all gonna be competing for the quarterback position, and nobody's really leading that right now. I just think that an important part of Weddington culture is we're going to play with what we have. So if you're, if I didn't want to buy into the Weddington program, then Coach Capone would tell me, we don't want you on this football team, regardless of how good I am. And I think that's what makes us, so special.
Well, you've obviously played against a lot of great players and competitors in North Carolina. Who would you say is the greatest player that you have competed against so far in your high school career?
Yeah, when you ask me that question, 2 really pop into my mind, and I'd be crazy if I weren't to say that, Sam Howell is not the best player I've ever played against. But he definitely is. Just game planning against him, trying to tackle him, trying to intercept one of his passes. It's, by far some of the hardest things I've ever tried to do in my life. So just that, and then secondly, on the offensive side of the ball, having to go against him, Brian Jacobs from Charlotte Catholic. Mm-hmm. He's safety. He's committed to Davidson. And he's so football IQ smart. He's tough nosed, really physical. He'll come down and lay a lick on you. So you always got to keep your head on a swivel. But if I had to say 2, those are definitely them.
It's funny that you mentioned Brian Jacobs. We were talking about earlier about we want to have him on sometime soon, but would you say he's probably one of the most underrated players in the area?
Oh, no question about it. We've been childhood friends. Our families have been really close since a very young age. My brother and him played basketball together, played football together. But I would definitely agree with that statement. I mean, and it's most likely because of his size, how tall he is,
right.
Which I honestly think is just not fair to him because he can't control that, but everything that he can control, he dominates. So I think it is unfair to him, but at the same time he's at a place where he loves Davidson. So I'm really excited for him, and I think he's going to be really successful wherever he goes in life.
Absolutely. So we were talking about some of your competitors. What are your goals for next season? Let's talk a little bit about yourself. So next season, obviously we talked about you want to win 2 more state championships, but do you have any personal goals regarding stats, numbers, or anything like that?
I really just want to be the best me, regardless of how many rushing yards I have, how many receiving yards I have, that type of stuff. Another thing I want to do is I want to start maybe returning a little more. My brother kind of had that role last year, punt returner and kick returner. But I think I'm going to, try to step up and take that role, try to be a little more versatile at that point. So, yes, sir.
Will, when did you realize that, okay, I might be pretty good at this football thing? When did you really realize that this could turn into what it is turning into now?
So this is actually a funny story, and I have a very specific moment, and it was in 8th grade, preseason workouts, and we had this coach. I think it was Coach maybe Chancellor, and so we were sitting there, and we were doing it was the first day of tryouts, and we were doing the 5-10-5. I finished the 5-10-5 with a pretty good time. He shows the other coaches, blah blah blah, and he asked me straight up. He's like, where do you want to go to college? I mean, you're going to be able to pick wherever you want to go. And at that point, I really did not believe it. But just what it's become, what it's turned into, it's so awesome, and that is really when I realized hey, I can be great if I really really work at it.
That's awesome. So, Will, we really appreciate you coming in for our first athlete for the Specialist Podcast, episode 4. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck to you this next season, and congratulations on winning a state championship in track. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Real quick before you go, for anyone listening that does not follow you on social media, where can they find you on Instagram, Twitter, and stuff like that?
Yeah, my Twitter handle is Will Shipley, no caps, no spaces, 2021, and then my Instagram handle is Will Shipley .09. So, and those are my 2 biggest social media accounts.
Well, you guys go give him a follow. Will, it's awesome to have you on. We wish you so much success these next couple of years. An amazing football player and an even more humble person.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Profit Advisory Group is a full-service telecom and technology solution partner that can help you with any of your telecom needs, whether you need to cut costs, buy new service, or change away from your current carrier. The greatest thing is they get paid by the carriers, so there is never any cost to you. Check out their website after you're done checking out the specialists.
So as you guys can tell, that was an awesome time just kind of getting to know Will a little bit better. He's a heck of a football player. He's a really humble guy, if you weren't able to tell, sitting down, talk to him before and after the interview. Just a really, really good guy. He's really grounded. Credit to his parents for raising him the way that he did. But on to another sport, craziness was about in the NBA trade world. I mean, it threw the world into a frenzy. Start off with, in my eyes, a pretty big trade, the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies traded away the big man with a little sauce on him, Marc Gasol, to the Raptors. The Raptors absolutely won that trade, man. They gave away 2 guys, C.J. Miles and DeLon Wright, who, are decent maybe if they're playing a pickup game at the Y, and a second-round pick in 2024. When is that? But they also gave up Jonas Valanciunas. But Mark, in my eyes, is way better than Jonas. And so the Raptors really picked up a key piece in their run to the NBA Finals this year. So that was a pretty good trade for me by the Raptors.
Absolutely. Marc Gasol is actually one of my favorite players in the NBA. I love how he can go back-to-back and face up, knock down that mid-range shot, and play good defense down low. The thing about this trade is, at first, I wasn't sure who was going to come out of the East, but I am almost positive that the team coming out of the East, barring any injuries, is going to be the Toronto Raptors.
Well, I disagree a little with you there, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But do you think Marc Gasol is better than Pau Gasol?
Absolutely. Marc Gasol has stayed consistent over the years. Like, what is Pau Gasol doing right now, Coleman? What is he doing?
Well, Pau Gasol is old, man.
No,
isn't he out? Is he still in the league?
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't heard his name in a while. Is what my point was. Marc Gasol has stayed relevant.
And he stayed at the Grizzlies. I mean, that's a loyal guy, right?
Pau Gasol also started at the Grizzlies. That's a fun fact. I think I have his trading card back in the day.
Dude, I think they got traded for each other.
It was something like that.
It was something weird. But yeah, no, I think if Marc Gasol would have been in the same system playing with guys like Kobe Bryant, he would definitely have a lot more.
Do you think Marc or Pau is better?
That's tough to say. I think Pau's a better overall player. Obviously, Pau has all of the accolades because he played with Kobe.
Sure.
But I think Marc's a better player, so we can agree on that.
I think it's funny that you brought up Pau. I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like the lone survivor. Right, yeah. But anyways, this trade, it's not really that big, but I just like talking about them. 3-team trade between the Bucks, Pelicans, and Pistons. The Bucks got Nikola Mirotic. Nikola Mirotic is a sneaky player.
I like Nikola. You leave him open from beyond the arc, he's gonna nail it.
That ugly beard, dude. He will shave or like he'll scratch his little beard when he hits a 3. He's sneaky. He's a good pickup for them. But the Pistons, they got the scariest looking and skinniest big man in all of 2K, Thon Maker. And I'm interested to see what he does. He was very unhappy. He was kind of a guy when he got drafted, a lot of raw potential.
Yeah.
But man, that guy's scary in 2K. I don't know really what it looks like in real life, but he's pretty scary.
Yeah, another trade. Markelle Fultz, as NBA.com put it, redirected finally to Orlando. Coleman, talk about Markelle Fultz's move to Orlando and how that's going to impact both the Magic and the 76ers as they receive Jonathan Simmons and a first-round pick and a second-round pick in 2019.
So the Sixers absolutely won this trade. Even if Jonathan Simmons does nothing for them,
yep.
Even if both of those picks turn out to be absolute trash in the NBA, they got rid of a huge distraction. I mean, all these guys are just trying to play basketball. Markelle Fultz even. I mean, this is a win for Markelle. He's out of the limelight. Orlando. Who cares? Steve Clifford's coaching Orlando. Steve Clifford's a great guy, but, he's an average coach. So this will give Markelle some time to get away from the press, and hopefully he can figure out what's going on. I hope he turns out to be a good player. He was really good at Washington. But no, I think Philly won this trade just in the perspective of getting rid of the distraction of what is Markelle Fultz, and I mean also what is the disaster of Markelle.
Yeah. I think the Sixers, like you were talking about, they won the trade, but another trade they won is acquiring Tobias Harris and Boban Marjanovic from the Clippers, along with Mike Scott. But, I mean, Tobias Harris is one of the most underrated players in the league, and I said the Raptors are going to come out of the East. That's my early NBA Finals prediction, but I am not counting out the 76ers.
Yeah, no, Tobias Harris, man. It's funny how in the NBA your team determines how popular you are. Chris Middleton is one of the most underrated players.
Yep.
And he's now gaining the notoriety he deserves, but he plays in Milwaukee. And the same thing for Tobias. He's in Detroit, and yeah, they get a little bit more notoriety now because of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. But Tobias Harris is a baller. So the 76ers, to me, I know you think the Raptors are going to come out of the East. With this trade now, I think with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Tobias Harris, I think with the train wreck that's going on over there in Boston, I think it's going to be this Sixers versus the Raptors, but I think the Sixers are going to come out and challenge the Warriors for that title.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens, but I think we can both agree, unless a miracle happens, Boston is not going to be that team.
No, and another guy I want to talk about, and this is actually a really sad story, Harrison Barnes. He knew going into that game that he was going to get traded, but he said, I want to play this game. I want to go out and play with my guys if it's my last time. And during the game, they took this guy out. And, I mean, it's just sad, It's sad for two reasons. One, he has to go to Sacramento. And, I mean, those guys are worse than Trinity Prep for the people who are around the Charlotte area. But, I mean, also just because he got traded in general and had to come out during the game, that's a little sad for him. But interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, the Mavs definitely made some moves during this trade period in the NBA as they acquired Kristaps Porzingis in exchange for a couple other players, and they gave up a couple players as well, but for Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah, man, the unicorn in the Lone Star State. I'm excited to see that, him alongside the 19-year-old assassin, Luka Doncic. Yeah, like you said, New York gets Dennis Smith and DeAndre Jordan and 2 future first-rounders. Definitely the biggest trade name-wise. But I think New York's going to this trade obviously favors Dallas. I think New York, their front office has showed a lot of incompetence. I think while they've got good players, now what are you going to do with Frank Nikitila, or however you say his name? But over in Dallas, the unicorn, Kristaps, and Luka, the future is very bright in the Lone Star State for those Mavs.
Yeah, you said the Knicks front office are pretty incompetent. But in making that move, the Knicks are freeing up massive cap space for the summer, and I'm sure all of you who are listening have heard about the KD rumors. KD denies them, but of course he's going to deny them. He's in the middle of a successful season with Golden State. So they're going to look to acquire a big free agent, big name, just a great player.
Yeah, they will. I'll be interested to see if they are actually able to get anybody. If they're able to get one, they'll be able to get 2.
Yeah.
But I won't be shocked if they're not able to get one. Now, this was a trade that didn't happen. But, man, how about the Pelicans in the way that they absolutely just played with LA's mind? They came out and they wanted all of these offers to get out there just so LA would get distracted. They weren't going to trade Anthony Davis to LA, but they made those offers and they leaked that information so that young core over in LA would get distracted.
And it was really crazy. You said mind games. It absolutely was mind games. LA basically was offering their whole team except for LeBron James. And then they finally pulled out?
Yeah. They were like, all right, we're not going to continue to outbid ourselves.
They really did want Anthony Davis that bad to where they'd give up everyone except for LeBron.
Yeah. I could see them giving up Lonzo. He's a distraction. I could see them giving up Ingram. He hasn't really turned into the player that we all hoped he would be. But I was shocked when they offered Kuzma. I think Kuzma's once LeBron leaves, the future of that organization. So very, very interested that Magic Johnson and those guys were going to be making decisions like that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Lonzo just averaging above 9 points a game isn't going to really do it. Neither is Brandon Ingram. So some of those players they offered, good decision. Others, not so much.
Mark D. Gott has been a proud sponsor of local high school athletics for many years. Call Mark D. Gott, attorney at law, for all your legal needs. If Mark D. Gott does not handle your particular need, he will gladly refer you to someone who does. Call Mark D. Gott, attorney at law, at 704-377-5050. That is 704-377-5050.
Now talking about what a lot of people in Charlotte are looking forward to. They finally get to have the All-Star game in Charlotte, as a couple years ago we had some issues with some laws where we couldn't have it, but now it's coming to Charlotte. Let's talk a little bit about the All-Star Weekend celebrity game first off.
Dude, the celebrity game. So highlighting the home team, we have got the man who tries to take everything American that we like to eat and drink and just throw it down the trash disposal, Dr. Oz. That man's going to be rolling on the home team. Man, we have got Steve Smith, the little man who could, he's one of the best players in Panther history. Jay Williams, college basketball analyst, actually sat down and talked with him a couple years ago at an ACC championship game. He's a cool guy. And then we have North Carolina native and a man with just an angelic voice, Chris Daughtry. So that's pretty cool on that team. But the away team, dude, they've got some ballers. They have got Ray Allen, and, you know how lethal he is. They've got Quavo rocking it. Mama! and they've also got Ronnie 2K. And for those of you who don't play 2K, I'm sorry, but for those of you who do, you know Ronnie 2K is the man.
Yeah. I like the home team because I'm a Daughtry fan. The Need to Breathe vocalist, Bo Reinhardt's actually on that team. Interesting. Didn't know he was into the NBA, but I like the home team. I like Steve Smith. In my opinion, the most fun player to watch of all time.
Yeah, but I'm also very intrigued to see how my boy Bad Bunny does.
Oh.
A lot of people may not know Bad Bunny and may think it's a girl, but no, watch out. Bad Bunny's going to be dropping threes.
He's not an animal either.
No, he's a person.
Yeah. And if you follow our Instagram account at Specialist Podcast, we actually posted a story with one of his songs in the background, so you should maybe go check that out if you're into that type of music.
Yeah, and give us a follow, too, if you haven't yet. That's pretty disrespectful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got more of the hip-hop side, Quavo and Bad Bunny versus Daughtry and Bo Reinhardt.
Yeah, should be an interesting matchup. We've got two females coaching the game, Dawn Staley and Sue Bird. So I'm excited to see how that game is played. Unfortunately, us specialists, while we are special in some ways, we're very poor in other ways. So we will be sitting on the couch watching, probably drinking a cup of tea and playing with our feathery cats. But if any of you guys are going, definitely send us some videos. It's going to be an awesome time. I wish I could go.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you like in this game? I like the away team.
You like the away team?
I'm pulling for home, but I think away is going to win. I mean,
Yeah,
Ray Allen, come on.
Yeah, Ray Allen, Quavo, and Ronnie 2K. I mean, give it up. Like, come on. It's over with. Ray Allen from way downtown.
Rebound Bosch, back out to Allen, his three-pointer, bang! Great memories.
NBA Finals.
Great memories.
Man. Back LeBron in the Miami days. But moving away from the All-Star, the Celebrity All-Star game, we've got the three-point shooting contest. We got some really interesting contestants, man. We've got the ageless wonder of Dirk. We've got Buddy Hield. I mean, whatever happened to that guy after college? Danny Green, a Tar Heel alum. We've got Devin Booker. You know that boy is lethal. We've got Cardiac Kimba. Kimball Walker, the hometown man, just doing a little something, a little boogie with it. Joe Harris, a lot of people, his name's not really known.
He went to Virginia, right?
Yeah.
And then he started at Cleveland.
Yeah, now he's up in Brooklyn playing.
Did he win a championship with Cleveland?
I don't know if he did. I really couldn't tell you.
He might have, yeah.
But we've also got Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton. But then the story of it all, which is just so heartwarming for the people of Carolina and the QC. Steph Curry and Seth Curry are going to be competing against each other. I went to high school. I went to school with them. I was a little bit younger, but it's going to be really cool to see both of them back. And I wish this wasn't the way I'd see Steph playing at the Spectrum Center. I wish he was wearing a Hornets uni. But it's going to be cool just to see the dynamic between them. And you know Dell will be there. So it's going to be a pretty interesting contest. Who do you think is going to come away with it?
There are so many good three-point shooters, obviously, because it's the three-point contest. But, I'm going to take Devin Booker.
You're going to take Book. Well,
what about you?
I'm going to take the dark horse in this, man. Dirk Nowitzki's going to win the three-point contest as the oldest winner in the history of the three-point shooting contest.
We'll see.
Yep.
We forgot to quickly talk about the game after the celebrity game, the Rising Stars competition. They used to do it freshman, sophomore. I mean, the NBA has changed so much about the All-Star weekend, but now it's Team US versus Team World. Team US led by Marvin Bagley, John Collins, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Knox, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, you can name all those. And then Team World, you've got Luka Doncic, Bojan Bogdanovic, DeAndre Ayton. Who do you like, Team US or Team World?
Dude, Bogdanovic is lethal from three in 2K, but Doncic, Ayton, Bogdanovic, they're just not going to be enough to stop that loaded roster of the U.S. So, yeah, the U.S. will win that game. Not any defense will be played. So
it's going to be like 145 to like 160.
Maybe it'll be 400 to 402.
Maybe.
Okay. But now moving on to another little exciting event happening here in Charlotte, the dunk contest. We've got Miles Bridges, Charlotte Hornet, who has been absolutely ferocious during games. We've got the Wake Forest alum, John Collins. He's lethal, man, but he plays over in Atlanta, so you don't really hear about him. We've got Fayetteville's own Dennis Smith, and you know how electric that guy is. And then you've got Hamidou Diallo, played at Kentucky or Kansas. He never really actually got much of an opportunity to play, but he's out. He's playing now, man. He's scary. You don't hear about him because he's just not really a big name guy, but he can throw it down. Who do you think's going to come out on top?
I've got hometown boy Miles Bridges. Or you could say hometown because he plays in Charlotte. Hometown boy would probably be Dennis Smith, but I like Miles Bridges in this.
Well, I'm actually going to go with the actual hometown boy. Dennis Smith is just too electric. He's going to do some stuff that is out of this world. I'm excited to see what Dennis can bring to the table.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Make sure you guys watch that Saturday night slam dunk contest.
A little shebang in the QC, baby.
Now, after that shebang in the QC, you just wait one more day. You've got the All-Star game, which I'm not crazy on, but a lot better than the Pro Bowl. Team LeBron versus Team Giannis. Again, one of those things they've changed up from the East to West type situation. You've got LeBron serving as a captain for his team, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo serving as a captain for his team. Who do you like?
Oh, there's not even a question here. Team LeBron.
Absolutely.
Team LeBron has Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kawhi Leonard as the starters. It was interesting, though, talking about LeBron trying to recruit some of these guys. KD has the option to leave after the season. Kyrie has the option to leave after the season. And Kawhi has the option to leave after the season. Also, Anthony Davis, who's a reserve. I liked how Giannis and LeBron made that trade for Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons. Made LeBron's team a lot better. And then you had the little animosity between Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid from a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, I mean, I love Kemba Walker, but for him to be starting in the All-Star game against some of these guys, I just don't know how good it's going to go for him.
Yeah, I love Kemba Walker, like you were saying. I don't either. I was so happy for Kemba Walker as he's averaging 25 points a game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Like he's playing amazing. Mm-hmm. He second lowest scorer in the All-Star game in front of Kyrie Irving as a starter, second lowest starter. Right. I was so happy for him, but I was really surprised, I'm not going to lie, that he got All-Star. But if you look at everyone else, he deserved it.
Yeah, no, he did.
But I'm very surprised Russell Westbrook did not get that spot in front of Kemba.
Yeah, I mean, Russell's averaging a triple-double. You know, what are you going to do? But two guys that keep your eyes on, Nikola Vucevic and Nikola Jokic. Both of those guys are big men. Nikola's on the Nuggets. Jokic is on the Nuggets, and Vucevic is on the Magic. Jokic gets a little bit more respect just because he's on the Nuggets and they're a really good team. But Vucevic is a grown man, so I'm really excited to see how those two do coming off the bench.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Russell Westbrook. He's in the West. Walker's in the East. I meant to say Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal and Kemba, very close stats. The 2013 first-team All-Rookie Bradley Beal, I'm surprised he didn't get it over the 2-time NBA sportsmanship winner, Kemba Walker.
No, that's fair, but more fans. I mean,
yeah.
Thankfully, the Hornets fans got out there and voted. Shout out to the Hornets, though, man. They're right now in the playoffs, which is
almost at 500 if we can win this game tonight in Indiana.
Yep. But, I mean, yeah, so it's going to be an awesome weekend in Charlotte. If you guys are going, let us know. Send us pics. We'd love to see it. But like I said, we'll be on the couch playing with feathers and cats because we have no money. So if you guys also want to give us money, Cash App us or Venmo us.
Or buy merch.
Yeah, or buy merch. We've got – so what we're going to be doing, guys, on our –
Real soon.
Yeah, really
within
soon.
The next 2 weeks. We're going to start – we've actually already got tons of pre-orders on the hoodies. We're going to take the money first, and then we're going to order hoodies. So let us know if you're interested, size. They're going to be sweet.
Yeah, and we also have very few. I mean, I feel like we have maybe 3 of each. Long sleeve tees and hats are still available. Yeah. We only have larges in our shirts, but the hats, they fit all. So if you guys are interested, definitely contact us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or even comment below. But that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you also go give Will Shipley a follow and keep your eyes on him because he is going to be a future star.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode 5, and stay tuned for next week's episode 6. Thank you guys, and God bless.